it necessary to make known our position on this macroeconomic development and our expectation that they will be rectified in the 2020 budget and economic policy of government. But before that, we would like to point out some misleading claims made by the president himself recently when he spoke during the 8th edition of the Ghana Economic Forum on Wednesday, 30th October 2019. And I quote, "As you all know," and this is according to the president, and I quote, "As you all know, the macroeconomic situation that my government inherited in 2017 was a dire one. GDP growth of 3.6% at the end of 2016 was the lowest in over 2 decades. He also said that the 2016 fiscal deficit was 9.3% of GDP. Ladies and gentlemen, the official fiscal deficit for 2016, as published by the Ministry of Finance, and I've provided you the link, was 13.1 billion Ghana cedis negative. The nominal GDP for 2016, before the rebasing, was 168.7 billion Ghana cedis. Therefore, if you were to express the 13.1 billion as a percentage of 168.7 billion, the fiscal deficit will be and was 7.8% of non-rebased GDP, certainly not 9.3% of GDP. The nominal GDP for 2016 after the rebasing was 215 billion Ghana cedis. Hence, the fiscal deficit for 2016 was 1.6% on the rebased GDP, and obviously not 6.1% of the rebased GDP, and obviously not 9.3%. In fact, page 11 of the media budget statement recently reported the 2016 fiscal deficit to be 6.5% of GDP, of the rebased GDP, and certainly not 9.3%. Therefore, the claim of a deficit of 9.3% of GDP by His Excellency the President cannot be true. Ladies and gentlemen, the minority in Parliament would like to caution the authorities, particularly the Office of the President and the Finance Minister, not to peddle falsehood with the 2016 fiscal deficit.